I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Bye.
Hello and welcome to the final podcast, the last podcast you will ever listen to.
Your final bros are here. It's Brian Hopper Lagrosta and Shane the Common Loon Smith because we love playing Wingspan. My lovely fiance is here, Kaitlyn. Hey, baby.
Hey, babe.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Shane. Hey, babe.
My podcast husband is here, Shane.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a long time coming. Probably a story we can share too. For the group. So we're reviewing The Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
The famous Silence of the Lambs that won 5 Oscars back in 1991. The one where I believe Anthony Hopkins won for being in very limited screen time.
Somewhere between 7 to 11 minutes.
Yeah. I think Jodie Foster is 1-2 for this.
Probably. She was fantastic in this movie.
I think it won Best Picture, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As it should.
Also stars Ted Levine as...
The fabulous Ted Levine as James Gum.
Yep. A.K.A. Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill.
So I didn't know really him. I recognized his voice during this movie.
I know him from Monk.
Yes. So I didn't watch Monk. But his voice, I'm like, his voice is so familiar. Where do I know this voice from? Yeah. And then I realized I know him from the classic, I think it's 2002 vehicle, in the words of Mike G, Joyride. He's the man over the radio, Rusty Nail.
Yes,
and
that's
he
right.
sounds identical to his voice as Buffalo Bill.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's his voice like Buffalo Bill? Give me your best Buffalo Bill impression.
It's very raspy, and I don't know if I could do it. It puts the lotion in the basket, or else it gets the hose again.
I'd fuck me.
That scene. You know what's crazy? Like, I haven't seen this movie probably in like a couple of years. I forgot how late into the movie that
says
scene
that.
actually is. It's like close to the end.
Yeah.
There's like 15 minutes left in the movie. When
I also forgot how little he's in the movie.
Yeah, he's barely in it.
Like, this is a Jodie Foster movie all the way through. She's in every scene pretty much.
Heavy Jodie Foster, yeah.
Yeah. Also forgot Jodie Foster was recast in the sequel Hannibal.
By who?
The girl who looks like her, Julianne Moore.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I also heard that Michelle Pfeiffer was supposed to actually play that role.
Really?
Yeah, I heard that she didn't take it or something.
It's one of those things where it's like, maybe I'm only saying it because that's how the movie went, but I feel like Jodie Foster just fits that role more.
Jodie Foster is just great. Like she's great as a whore in Taxi Driver, which was her first role, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you are correct.
She was good in
Panic Room with Kristen Stewart. Okay, Stu.
Flight
Plan. I like how like you're naming all of her movies, but very hesitantly.
Because I'm like, the Flight Plan one I was a little unsure of. I knew Panic Room a little bit too.
Yeah.
The Accused.
That I haven't seen.
I have actually never seen it either. there's a quote from Wedding Crashers where
Which quote?
Vince Vaughn, I was getting like tortured by Isla, like not tortured, but like he's like, I feel like Jodie Foster in The Accused.
Okay, I do remember where she's like has him tied to the bed.
Yeah,
and one of the most iconic scenes because when that guy comes in, he's like, "I made a painting for you. Let's play Tommy Sticks."
That movie is just absolutely phenomenal. Like that's just
so good.
They're just like one of the best comedies like ever.
So going back to Silence of the Lambs now, I feel like this is 180 something episodes overdue.
Please don't rent this movie for $4.
Sorry, where was it on?
It's on HBO Max.
Oh.
Yeah. By the way, if you want to see Silence of the Lambs, HBO Max. Is this overdue?
Yes.
Yes, this is overdue.
You're struggling over here.
We were supposed to originally review this in April.
Yes.
Or so we made Kaitlyn to believe.
Yes.
I said, hey, we're going to go by, we're going to review this and let's watch it. So we watch it thinking in my head, we're not reviewing it. I'm actually going to throw her a surprise party that day, but it was my way to fool her.
Yes, it was a really good surprise 30th.
Yeah, we got to watch Silence, which you love.
And you fell asleep during.
She was a little disappointed we didn't get to record the episode.
I know.
Which is why we made the promise we would do it in the future, which is now 6 months later.
6 months later. This was my recommendation, right? Like I wanted you guys to do it.
Yes, it was.
I think that this is a Jodie Foster movie, like just in terms of her screen time, presence is very good, especially as a female FBI agent. I think Anthony Hopkins is just so powerful in every scene he's in. I think his shimmer
Yeah.
He's got like that good eye shimmer.
He's very, very intimidating.
But he's not even subtle. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
he's not even subtle. He's very actually vocal for his role as a...
Well, he talks every time he's on screen, but
like
he gets off on it.
He's a doctor. He's got to be some kind of a therapist.
Psychiatrist, I think they said.
Psychiatrist, because he gets in people's heads, but he's also a cannibal.
Yeah. He's a great liar.
Incredible liar. But he lies with, like...
Truth.
Like, he lies, but he puts everything in, like, either a poem, a riddle, or...
Anagram.
An anagram. That's the word, right?
Like it's very well done. So we could praise this movie all day. We're gonna praise this movie all day. So the best way to do it is to jump into the spooky pit.
Okay, The Silence of the Lambs. It was released in 1991. Buffalo Bill is skinning hides again. So let's get the chick from West Virginia teamed up with the serial killer cannibal to put an end to ladies in wells. This film was directed by Jonathan Demme, and it stars Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling, Anthony Hopkins as Dr. Hannibal Lecter, Scott Glenn as Jack Crawford, Ted Levine as James Gum, and Anthony Heald as Dr. Frederick Chilton. Okay, let's kick it off. We are in the FBI.
Yes.
I wish I could play this. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's okay. Sometimes it just
HBO
doesn't work.
It's busted. What's going
HBO
on?
is busted. We might have to reset the TV again.
I can't do that again.
Okay.
Have you been resetting your TV a lot?
Do you know how much effort it takes to pull out an 85-inch TV that's mounted to the wall?
Oh, that sounds...
And my cousin, shout out to my cousin Steven, made a hole in our wall, rewired everything, put all the wires into the wall. So me and Brian, what was that, 2 nights ago? Were just very grumpily at each other trying to take the TV out. And we did it, and now it's not working again.
It will work, though, because other streaming services have worked. So this is strictly just an HBO issue.
Yeah. Maybe HBO's just going through it today. Could just be a bad HBO day.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Could be a server thing.
Whatever.
Look, in any case, let's talk FBI, because we have
Yes.
her training. She's training to be an agent.
Yes. So she's going through her course. She's running through the forest. You know, things you do as an FBI agent. That's pretty much all they do in real life is run through the forest and chase people through the forest of PA.
Yep, that's true. You know, they shoot down some targets. If they don't check their 6s or their 8s or their 7s, they're going to get called out for it. You're dead. Mm-hmm. You're fucking dead.
You got to always check your corners. I've been saying that for years. Check your corners.
Thing is, Buffalo Bill, as they call him because of all of the hides he's skinning,
Yeah.
he's out killing again. And he's taking women and he's putting them in the back of his van. And they're dying.
They ain't living.
Well, one of them.
He's killed what? Four women so far.
4 women, but the 5th one gets taken. That's like the subject of this one.
The subject of the movie is that the 5th woman taken is a senator's daughter.
That's the big.
And you never take a senator's daughter because then they'll actually care.
Yeah, that's
The other
true.
ones, who cares?
No. It was just some fat woman from Ohio.
Oh, my God.
No one cared. Literally, no one cared.
Oh, that's the one that was.
That was the first victim.
They said the first victim was not even the first one that was discovered because she was weighed down for 3 days in the water.
Yeah.
And then there was some other women that were.
Yeah. I like how Buffalo Bill's MO is the first one he cared. The rest he's like, fuck it. I ain't got time for this. I'm busy.
But they're all women.
Yes. And they're all a little thicker. Which, to be fair, his last victim didn't look that thick, but...
We've got to make him bigger so that he starves them. The skin stretches.
Yeah.
He's got a whole plan.
He needs stretch marks.
He needs the skin. He needs to wear the skin.
He's wearing it. He wants a woman's suit.
He does. He wants a full woman suit is really what it is.
Yeah, he's an interesting character.
Ted Levine is interesting.
The whole tucking it under dance routine.
Well, he just wants to be a woman.
Yeah.
Like, frankly, the killer wants to be a woman. So he's just going to wrap himself up in women's skin and do the best he can.
I mean, honestly, I think he would have looked better the way he was, like not with the skin.
No, he looked better with the skin, and he needed to commit 5 murders to pull it off.
All right.
So you're saying Buffalo Bill had the right idea?
Do you think that he stops at 5? He probably keeps going.
No, he 100%
He has to
keeps
starve
going.
them out.
He's
He-
probably going to make multiple women
Well, because
suits.
eventually he needs a woman pantsuit, and he has to get the legs going.
Probably shouldn't have
Oh my
took the high.
God.
He probably didn't. I don't even know how much research he did. He didn't seem like a very clever killer. They just couldn't capture him.
No, the man was just really good at finding moths to put in people's mouths. That
Yeah.
was like the extent of his cleverness, is he knew how to buy moths from China.
He bought him from a different country.
Yeah.
Different continent, frankly, and he stuffed them in their bodies when he killed them. They discovered them in an autopsy. You see
Yeah.
the death head moth native to Asia stuffed in there. And I'm like, what the fuck is the significance of the moths?
So I don't. Did you know what the significance?
No, but I looked it up.
What was the significance?
So a few things.
I love this. Let's get
Death
into it.
moth, but apparently, like when they those moths make a squeaking noise. Like when they're stuffed in their bodies, they make a squeaking noise, which resembles his screaming victims.
Oh, that's dark. Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't something about molting too, or no?
Oh, shedding the skin. They do mention that in the movie that they shed, and that's essentially what Buffalo Bill is doing, where he's
like shedding his skin.
male skin into the female skin. The whole time I was just thinking of lanternflies because they also came from Asia. And I was like, this is how it starts. You have a serial killer buying these insects from China, and now they're all over the place.
Maybe there's a Buffalo Bill out there right now.
He has so many He's got so many death moths. I actually love the last like 20 minutes of this movie.
It's the best.
Great.
Like it really just makes the movie.
I think there's a few scenes that make the movie. The scene with Anthony Hopkins when he's been transported to like the ballroom with those security guards.
Oh, yeah.
For just a normal person, no superpowers, no nothing, just an old man who eats people, terrifying.
Yeah.
The look on his face when he's beating him with the baton is just...
Oh, yeah. With the blood just...
It's so well done. Who directed this movie?
Jonathan Demme.
Did he do like...
I'll check. Like what work has this man done?
Yeah, because like...
Well, this was a book, apparently. A very popular novel.
Okay, that would make some sense.
Which I would actually love to read because I feel
I was
like...
going to say me too.
I feel like there's probably a lot off screen.
What is the book Silence of the Lambs or is Hannibal? Like what is
I'm pretty sure it's Silence.
Oh, this guy also directed Philadelphia. And The Manchurian Candidate.
Oh, and Rachel Getting Married.
I've never seen that. Is that good?
I don't know.
Wow, this guy's directed like a lot of stuff.
Oh, The New Yorker.
Interesting.
Did he do the whole
This is like research I probably should have did beforehand, but I like doing it mid-episode of the podcast. It's kind of the best time to do it.
There's apparently, it's the book Silence of the Lambs, and there's also I guess, Hannibal Lecter series.
Dude, there's a TV series for Hannibal, yeah. There's an actual book series too?
I think that's the books.
Interesting.
We're too far into the 21st century to have VHS
There's
anymore.
Red Dragon, and then there's...
Oh, Red Dragon's real.
It's the exact... Isn't it the same things? I see Hannibal. I see
Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, and Hannibal Rising. Ooh,
oh, yeah, those are all the movies.
Babe, I'm going to buy this right now. Not that we have the money right now, but paperback for 4 books, it's $40.
$40 a book.
Can't go wrong.
Sounds like a lot of money that we don't have.
Sounds like buy now.
We're not even, I'm just like, yeah, I can't even breathe, let alone like.
I'm still waiting for you to build my bookshelves.
Okay. Shane.
You could put that right next to the bike.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Shane.
I built a bike for my fiance. She used it once. This was 2 months ago.
Shane. Benny, you're no longer Shane's friend.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I expect this from Brian and not from you.
I think it was 2 months ago. Or was it last month?
I'm sorry. I'm busy doing things for our new home.
I considered riding the bike.
Did you?
I did. When I saw it, I was like, oh, how's the bike going, Bri? He's like, once.
It's there.
You know what?
It's there. Okay, let's get back on track.
Yes,
I'll pull
it.
I'll pull it back. So let's talk about how he takes the senator's daughter, and he's pulling up, and he's just like, Buffalo Bill is such a. I can't believe she actually did this. To be honest with you,
Yes.
I guess it's tough to be a woman, and if you're nice and trusting and you want to help someone, he needs help moving furniture in the back of his car, right?
Why would you get in the back?
She's like, can you do me a favor, get at the other end? So she has to pick it up and go back into the truck. He just actually takes it and pushes it, and then he's like, oh, let me get in there. And he just like knocks her out.
This is not a trustworthy man. This is a man with a deep voice and a hat. Like, you just don't go into his night van.
No.
But, okay, so this movie came out in 91, right? This was still the time where like people did stupid things like this. Like I feel
Trust people.
Yes.
You don't do it.
I feel like more so modern. I would say in the 2000s, people were like, yeah, let's not trust people anymore because that's how everyone keeps getting murdered.
Sure.
Also nowadays, where they were, because weren't they like right by a hotel? There'd be cameras everywhere, and they would have like followed his car. Like,
days of being a serial killer are over. There's Ring cameras.
yeah, it's kind of impossible. Right, Benny? Just can't do it anymore.
All my animals are making an appearance today.
This
hey,
is
Benny.
sick. Ben's like, oh, wait, I'm on camera. Let me get the fuck out of here.
Benny.
He's like, oh, wait, let me bark.
He's been a very good boy.
He has.
Unlike Buffalo Bill.
He's not. Buffalo's not a good boy. So let's talk about where Jodie Foster meets up with Anthony Hopkins. So Jodie Foster is going to be called in by Jack Crawford, big FBI head.
You may know him as Stick from the Daredevil series.
Oh my God, yeah. So he's going to call her in, and he's basically like, we have gotten psychological profiles from most serial killers, but we need it from the one guy who's refusing to do it. That would be Dr. Hannibal Lecter, who has killed and eaten several victims.
Yes.
And he's held up in, is it a security prison or like a mental institution?
It's a sane asylum mental institution.
Yeah.
Because I think what it is he's a serial killer, but they think he also is crazy because he eats people. This is the time where like a sane asylum still existed. Like now we've closed all of them, so we just let them wander the streets of Philadelphia and San Francisco.
Yep.
But that was my political rant for the day. This is when they existed, so we would put them here so they could do things like jerk off and throw it in people's faces in a safe place instead of the streets.
Who was that? Is that Miggs? Who was that? Was this guy?
It was Miggs. It was Miggs.
Yo, what an aim. He just freaking launched that shit right in Jodie's face.
The disrespect. The disrespect that was felt.
I know.
Riffled through.
Well, he's not going to make it much longer.
No.
Like, you know what's also crazy? Because I guess because this movie happened in 91, like she just wipes it off and walks away.
I would have gotten tested
she would have
instantly.
been brought to a hospital, got a bunch of tests done on her. Ugh. You know what I do like, though? That Anthony Hopkins' character, crazy, serial killer, murderer, has respect for people who kind of match his intelligence.
Yeah.
Because he actually makes Miggs kill himself for the disrespect that he showed Clarice Starling.
That's true. That's true because they were just having a conversation. I think he was intrigued by the conversation. Essentially, she's trying to get this profile. I think he makes some kind of arrangement with her where like he would consider doing it.
Yes. Essentially, if he gives her the case file and gets him like into a different facility, he'll help her work it out, right? That's like the deal they come up with.
Yeah. No. And I mean, essentially, like when they do, I think did they discover another body or something? I forgot what happens when they get on the chopper with.
They found the body. They found the fourth body.
They found the fourth body. When this happens, this is when Jodie Foster questions Jack Crawford, and she's like, "This is not just for the profile case," and he's like, "Nope, this is yours."
Yeah.
Like, you're
I love how they just make this trainee like part of the FBI before she actually is part of the FBI. She's like, they're like, you're in this case
I
now.
think it's because of the rapport that for some reason she was able to foster. I don't think it was ever about getting the profile, and it was all about getting Hannibal Lecter to help like get into the mind of a serial killer like Buffalo Bill. I mean, I'm still going to argue. I don't think Buffalo Bill was a very smart serial killer.
No, he wasn't. And that's why, to be fair, they called him relatively fast. He only killed 4 people.
Yeah.
Like,
I think they just wanted to just nip it in the bud.
yeah, he's no Bundy. Bundy got to like 20, 30 something.
Oh my God.
They compared him to Bundy, like his tactics. I was reading that like just the way that he was like getting the women. Like, in the car.
That is how Bundy did it. He would get women in his car and then just like knock them out and drive them away and stuff like that.
Yeah, they said like his tactic was very similar to him.
Except Bundy was like attractive
I
and
was gonna
charming,
say,
whereas this guy is a menace to society.
I still want to know.
He's a butterfly.
I still want to know how Hannibal was able to make someone kill themselves just by speaking to him.
Psychiatrist.
Yeah.
He probably just literally, the entire night was just like, kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself.
I mean, you see how convincing he is?
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was going to ask you, dude. Do you think they actually made Clarice go to talk to him because she was a trainee and they felt like he would be so almost offended that they didn't send a real agent that he would help her over helping like an actual...
I think so. I think they
It
probably...
was almost like a mind game they were playing with him.
Yeah, they probably said that we're going to put someone that's literally not a formal agent that has not even completed her training. Like, you could tell she showed extreme inexperience throughout this whole thing.
Oh, yeah. She shared way too much information with him about herself.
Correct.
Which would be probably 101 not to do. And you could almost... and this is why she does such a good job. You hear the stuttering in her voice when
She stutters. She tells Hannibal Lecter, she's like, "Oh, why don't you take that intellect and share it with yourself?"
Yeah, I love
Oh
it.
my God.
But that was her West Virginia accent, right? When it sneaks out from time to time.
It just puckers out.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
She just like sloshes the spit in the sides of her mouth.
Like all people from West Virginia do.
All 2 of them. Do you smell my socks? Is that just me?
I smell your socks.
No, I do smell your socks now that you like mention it.
You're a little stinky. Nice stinky.
That's it. You're stinky. Okay.
It's okay. We gotta get him a mic.
Yeah, I don't even know. He may not even need one.
Yeah, well, this is what I told you. Once he loves you, now you're going to wish he didn't.
Okay.
So let's talk about the senator's daughter.
Yes, let's talk about her.
She is going in the well.
Yeah, let's talk about this well hole.
She's going to be in there. There's just her in there getting starved out.
Yes. I'm gonna be honest. Instantly made me think of the Joe Dirt scene where Joe Dirt gets thrown in and it's like, yeah, I get it. It puts the lotion on the skin. And like, yeah, I know Joe Dirt was a parody of this, but Joe Dirt's a pretty great David Spade film. I'm going to say
I got to credit the author because like, where do you even, I'm assuming this is probably ripped right from the book.
100%. It has to be.
So like, where do you even come up with this
Scenario
/ verbiage? Like, where does this even come from?
It does what it's told. It's so...
He's bizarre.
Yeah.
He's kind of haunting.
Can you imagine being in that situation where this cross-dresser has you in a hole filled with baskets of lotion? Like,
yeah.
Take care of your skin.
Yeah. Because you're lotioning up for him to wear your skin. Like, that's the end goal here.
Well, he's lathering it up for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So eerie.
And like, I know that there's this weird thing where like Jodie Foster starts getting nightmares about lambs.
Yes.
She does mention that.
Okay, so yeah, I guess you want me to talk about like the whole backstory with her and
Sure.
Yeah. So Hannibal Lecter basically won't talk to her unless she shares her life. So she goes through her traumatic life, how her dad was a police officer, he was shot, he died after a month after being shot. So she went to a ranch to live with her cousins. Mm-hmm. It was traumatizing. She watched lambs get slaughtered, and so she's had recurring nightmares of lambs screaming. And that's why the title is actually The Silence of the Lambs, because the idea is that through this journey of Jodie Foster tracking Buffalo Bill, it's supposed to silence the lambs like in her dreams.
Yeah, but also like the reality that like this guy's kidnapping innocent women.
Yes.
Who are screaming.
Which is also like The Silence of the Lambs. It plays it both ways.
I think that's just the overlap.
Yeah, which is very well done.
Yeah.
Which, that's how, like, Kaitlyn, you can kind of almost tell it's a book.
Oh, yeah.
Based off these themes.
And
Well,
then
I just bought all 4, so I'll let you know how they
I'm
go.
going to skip right to the end, too, because right at the end, I'm not like we're going to gloss over it, but
Yeah.
when he actually asks her when he's on the phone, he's just like, has the lamb stopped screaming yet? Because essentially, like, this is almost like, yes, they're going to stop because of the reality of the situation now, but this should actually almost give her the clarity for her PTSD.
Exactly.
So they should stop.
Yeah. I mean, this is a movie. You can't really talk about it linear.
No, you can't.
Because it makes sense to talk about certain aspects in a line and then go back and pick up from there.
It also makes you want to become a Japanese death head moth.
Yes.
Because they're cool. And I like when she goes to the bug boys.
Yeah, the bug boy. I've never seen people so excited to talk about bugs since
like,
The Collector.
They're like, let's split this open up. That's a Japanese death head. And then one guy is like, hey, Clarice.
How's it going?
You like hot dogs? Like literally.
Oh my God, what is this, The Happening?
Yeah.
I like hot dogs. You like hot dogs?
That was so interesting. Forrest, get the fuck away from there. I just don't want him to step on something and turn off everything, and then we have to do all this again.
Yeah, that would be a real shame.
No, he's just going to go attack the Christmas tree.
We could live with that. Okay, so now let's talk about Anthony Hopkins' journey, where Anthony Hopkins, he was finally caught after eating like a multitude of patients. That's what he was doing. He was eating patients.
Several livers, several fava beans
Yes.
with a nice Chianti.
He basically like talks in a very menacing psychiatrist way where he like tries to diagnose her while helping her solve things. Basically, he then like tells the director, is like, she's no help. I'll give you all the information if you bring me here. He so easily fooled this guy because all he could think about is the fame and the fortune that he listens to anything. Hannibal Lecter even knows he could take advantage of the mother who's missing her daughter because he knows she'll believe anything at this point.
Yes.
And he could get whatever he wants. So he just manipulates everyone into getting to like an open area for himself.
And he hates the doctor. Like, let's just make that clear. I know we haven't mentioned it. The doctor there.
He's a piece of shit.
He's kind of a dirtbag. He kind of always taunts him.
Yep.
Fucking hates him.
You should see that guy in Deep Rising. What a movie.
That guy's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he is. He's in a lot of movies.
Yeah. So I guess we could talk about when they move. I think they make an agreement to move Hannibal Lecter to a different facility.
Yes.
and he's going to help the senator give information on the killer.
Yes.
Or the kidnapper, I should
Which
say.
he gives them all BS information.
Well, he said it's Lewis
Something. I don't remember. It's a fake name.
Friend or something?
Yeah.
Which means like it's like iron something.
Yeah, it basically just means it's just like a fool's gold, right? Isn't it fool's gold?
So
it comes out to fool's gold.
I forgot the exact
Me too.
name he gave, but it translates to I think it's Lewis Friend and translates to iron sulfide.
Yes, which is fool's gold.
Which is fool's gold.
Yeah, which is the Kate Hudson movie.
With Matthew McConaughey.
Yes.
I'll never forget it because it's one of the only ones from Matthew I do not like.
And it's one of the ones I really like. Great movie. Highly recommend Fool's Gold.
I've never seen it, so
It's a great movie.
That's Fool's Gold. But yeah, so he gives them the fake information. They immediately act on it.
And now he's here in this ballroom. In the meantime, though, he's actually been feeding Clarice Starling all the correct information, just subtly. So he's like, look for people with sex reassignment surgery, do these things. He's like, this is not like your traditional transvestite. This is actually just a crazy person who doesn't know what they are.
Yeah.
Because of like years of childhood abuse and all these different things.
Yeah, so didn't they mention his like very first victim? Very first, like didn't he kill somebody that was a transvestite?
Yes, his very first victim, because he finds his head in the jar, who was a patient of Anthony Hopkins, which is why he knew who he was.
Well, who he was, yeah. He knew who he was because of that. So, like, even though like we're talking about this string, he's actually murdered before that. This is just a string of 5 murders.
Exactly. So she kind of like pieces it all together, where she goes to visit the first victim at some point, and she knows, like, she's like talking to the town. She gets a call though. They're like, "Oh, we found his house. It's John. What's his name?
It's Jame Gum.
Gum.
He's going under, even before that, he's going under a Joseph Gordon.
Yeah.
Or a Jack Gordon. Like a Joseph Grant, Jack Gordon, and Jane Gum is the one.
I knew when they located him, he was not going to be at this home.
Oh, yeah.
It was so obvious.
Oh, so obvious.
And then when she's like, okay, I'll go interview this old woman.
In Belvedere, Ohio, Miss Limscomb, who was who was involved in sewing because one of the first victim was a sewer.
I was like, well, she's going to the killer's house. That was pretty obvious.
Yeah. And it was supposed to be like a routine couple of interviews. Like, it wasn't supposed to be interviewing the killer, but that's what happened. Man, like, something I was telling Kaitlyn, because she was like, I was watching this in the morning and she was just like walking. I'm like, I feel like she probably just knew the second she walked in and talked to this guy, it was him.
Oh my God, it was so creepy.
She could tell. Like,
just the feeling.
The whole time she was like reaching for her gun. She was very uneasy.
I feel like you just get a vibe from these types of people.
He was so great. What I didn't understand, and maybe just because maybe I missed this, they call her when they're like, they say to her, like, oh, we located him. We could never have done it without you. And like, they're going. Why does she keep interviewing after that phone call? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they call her.
Well, she still wants to get probably information on him. Like,
oh,
they
just
want
like more of a profile or something? You know what I'm talking
because
about?
technically she's an FBI profiler. So I think her job would still, because just because you catch a serial killer, they still interview people that knew him or things like that to get a case. So she would still have to do that anyway.
Got it.
So
in Belvedere, Ohio?
Yep. That's where he was located.
But Miss Limscomb's not going to be there. It's going to be one Jane Gum.
Yeah. Actually, she was there just decaying in the bathtub in the basement.
Correct.
Which was disgusting.
So did he kill her? Or
100%.
Oh, okay. That's what I figured they were alluding to.
Yeah. So while all this is going on, we'll talk about the Anthony Hopkins escape first, because that does happen first.
Yeah.
So
it actually happens pretty early on in the movie.
Yeah.
And then you don't see him until the very end.
That's
it happens
right,
about halfway
in the movie.
Happens about halfway through.
So yeah, well, let's talk about that. There's a point where they're getting him his dinner inside of his cage, but he has like a little needle to unlock his cuffs. So he gets out, beats a guy with a door, then bites a guy's nose off, then beats a guy with a baton, and then you're like, okay, he's just gonna leave. He strings up a man, like innards just out, just up like a Jesus crucified on a cross. It
looked like a giant moth.
Did.
Yeah.
It did. That very symbolic.
It looked like a death head moth. He probably knew this guy.
Yeah.
What was going on from a padded cell?
But do you like the Leatherface turn this movie takes?
Yes.
I loved it because when they first show that guy, so one of the officers, they're like, oh, he's alive. He's alive. I'm like, I don't know. His skin doesn't look all like on.
His face got like slit up.
Yeah. So they transport this guy into an ambulance, and then they think that Anthony Hopkins had killed himself and fallen down the elevator shaft. Nope.
Nope, he was the guy that they transported that that appeared like he got his face ripped off, and it was just some skin.
Yep, peels the skin off.
Taking it from his patients, taking the old Jane Gum approach.
That's also a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much similarities there and symbolisms and themes and all that.
I'm uncomfortable.
Sorry.
I'm just trying to keep Benny quiet.
I'm uncomfortable with just because the dogs are here.
Oh, your opinion doesn't matter.
Oh, wow.
Would you rather Benny be afraid of your friend or love you?
No, I'm happy that he's nice, but my opinion should matter.
I love you. I'm just kidding.
Everyone's opinion matters.
I'm kidding.
You're mean.
It only doesn't matter when you talk bad about my animals.
I like the animals. The problem is they're always in the way, which is literally true. I'm not saying they're bad. They're good boys, but they are.
Look at the love that's being shared right now.
I did become best friends with this pup.
Yeah. Anywho, anyway.
Okay. So Anthony Hopkins, like you said.
Yep, that's the problem, Shane. Right there. Right there.
You stop petting him and he doesn't stop.
Is Anthony Hopkins is free and he's out and we don't see him again, literally, like you said, till the end. So let's just wrap up with Buffalo Bill's house. What's going to happen?
The best part of the movie. So he's going to go in. She's going to go in. And he's going to actually invite her into the house.
Yes.
He's basically looking for Miss Limscomb, the old owner. He's in the house now. She asks him for a phone number.
Yes.
I forgot who it was.
This is my favorite. No,
she wants to use his phone.
No,
yes.
well, first she asks like if anyone knows. She asked something about it, and he's looking through cards of like someone that he could call. And then she asks, she's like noticing all these things, the moths and the sewing stuff and everything.
And then that's when she knows. So that's why she.
And the fact this guy has 45 business cards. That was the most suspicious of it all.
Yeah. Well,
no one has that many business cards.
My favorite, probably one of my like ridiculous favorite parts of this whole movie is when she's like, "Can I use your phone?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then he just like has all the cards in his hand, and he's just like, she's like, "Freeze!" And he's like. He just throws them like in like a little like very like
so flamboyant
way, and then just fucking runs. I don't know why that makes me laugh so
he clocked the gun that he had in the kitchen. She was already peeling out her gun, so she just does the freeze. And you're right, I do like the.
He just like
drops it, and just like
it's great.
Just tinsel toes his way into the kitchen for the gun.
That was great. Anyway.
It's quick though. But he slips into the basement like almost immediately. And this is my biggest call out of the movie. I'm going to just keep mentioning it. She does not call for backup.
And it's why she's a trainee.
Yeah. So
she doesn't check her corners, doesn't call for backup, which she should have instantly called for backup.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because she can make her way into the basement while calling for backup. It's very doable. Also, she just leaves the girl in the hole. Which I guess was the right move there, but like
instead of bringing her out, because if she tried to bring her out, like,
it could have been dangerous. She could have got caught from behind. So.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing, but I would I think she was doing it right. That
Maya's calling for backup.
She kept fucking talking. And she
I know.
making a lot of noise. So
the girl in the tunnel.
I guess she was scared, but it's like, man. I would if someone who finally can save me came in and just be like, I just need you to be quiet. I would shut the fuck up. This is my one chance to get out of this hole. I'm gonna suck it up and be quiet.
I feel like we skimmed over a very important scene we talked about in the beginning, like when you see him actually like putting his like makeup on, and
that's right before she comes.
Yeah, and tucking his penis in, and then one of my favorite scenes also is when she lures his little precious.
Oh, that's right.
Into the hole. And he is just so distraught over this. And it just makes me laugh because it's like you could be like the most cold-hearted serial killer and you touch their dog. And how dare you?
He literally screams, "Don't you hurt my fucking
dog."
I mean,
precious.
I mean, that's just a serial killer like ego thing.
Yeah.
Like he just wants complete control. But
that was a very smart move by
how
her.
dare she take the dog? Oh yeah,
Very smart.
He's a
lures the dog
very
in the well.
different kind of serial killer because like most like start by killing animals. He clearly had an attachment to the dog.
Yeah, but it also shows like his like true like feminine side, man.
It does.
This guy's like crying and like
Yeah.
reeling.
I would do it too.
His nipples are pierced and he tries
Wild.
to tuck in his cock. So.
Yeah. He just throws his necklaces on.
You like that dancing scene?
I actually
I'd
love
fuck
it.
me.
It's fucking wild and eerie.
His
and
kimono.
wonderful.
Just him saying that he'd fuck him so hard. And that was just such a.
Is that the first thing you did when you got a kimono? Because you could kind of see it, right?
Did you tuck in your penis and say you'd fuck yourself?
Oh, I did fuck myself, but I probably tucked a couple times.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I feel like you have to if you own a kimono.
100%.
Anyway, sorry. Just had
No,
to
you're good.
bring
No,
that
you're
into
good.
the mix.
Yeah, so she's gonna have to go downstairs. Thing is, this guy just shuts off all the lights in this place, so she can't see shit. She has a gun in close quarters and can't see anything. He used night vision before. You see it earlier in the movie, so he brings it back.
This scene, when you first ever watched the movie, even my mom said it, it's so chilling because it is like the definition of suspense. Because the first time I ever watched it, I remember my heart racing.
It's actually weird. Like, he knows exactly where she is.
He's toying with her.
He's definitely toying with her, and it's creepy because you see him just try to grasp her. It's almost just like he knows he can probably grab her.
Yeah.
It's just like she could probably feel like the fact that his presence is around her.
It's the hubris. It got the best of him.
Ooh.
Yeah, nice word. Nice
Thank
hubris.
you. Because the second he clicks his gun to like shoot her, she just turns around and unloads on him.
Unloads, yeah.
And he's killed. She saves the day, kills Buffalo Bill.
Shane, like, she unloaded, dude. You said it yourself.
She did unload. She started blasting.
Shane likes to unload.
Oh my god.
Like vans when they have cargo in them or...
Precious cargo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rare exports.
A rare export, potentially. Yeah. We'll see.
Who knows?
Could be coming up. Okay.
All right. So
Jane Gum is dead.
Yes, he
Clean
is.
dead. Bleeding out the mouth. Dead.
they're going to save the girl. She's brought back to her senator parent. Clarice Starling's going to graduate. That FBI cake looked fucking delicious.
Absolutely scrumptious. I totally agree.
It had like graham cracker crust on the sides of it.
Yum.
Yeah.
Yum,
Looked
yum.
Really good.
Kaitlyn loves cake.
I like cheesecake.
I love cheesecake.
Not a big cake person, but cheesecake.
Ice cream cake?
Oh well, yeah.
That goes without saying.
Red velvet cake?
Yeah, but like I don't know. I'd rather a brownie or a cookie.
I'm into that hubris cake.
Hubris cake. Yeah, that's a good cake. It's a good cake. All right. So how's this movie gonna end, Bri?
Yeah, so this is the great ending, by the way. You remember our good friend Dr. Hannibal Lecter?
Of course, how could I forget? Even though he hasn't been in the movie for 45 minutes.
Well, he's flown. He's in Africa right now. I
Yeah.
think. Something like that.
I either thought it was Africa or like Cuba.
You're right, and that's fair because of
The hats.
the hats. Yeah.
He's switching up the meats.
I didn't know if it was like a Tanzania thing or Cuba could also make sense.
I was just thinking because of the hats.
So he calls Clarice and he goes, "Oh, don't even bother tracing. I'm not going to be on the phone for literally that. You're never going to get a trace on me," which is hilarious because he literally calculates everything.
He's so smart.
And he's like just saying like, "Oh, he's having dinner with an old friend." He's having
I'm having an old friend over for dinner, or I'm having an old friend for dinner.
I'm having an old friend for dinner specifically, and he's looking at Dr. Frederick Chilton, who he's hated the entire time, just following him with a nice straw hat and like linen shirt. And
Incredible.
I'm on Team Hannibal. Like I don't know,
I think everybody is.
Yeah.
and I'd want him in my corner. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, as long as you can match wits with him, he won't eat you. Because he says he won't
So
do anything to Detective Starling. He's like,
yeah, this is gonna
I have
sound
too much respect.
This is gonna sound weird, but I actually didn't like. I seen Red Dragon, but I don't remember much of it. So I don't remember exactly like who his like victims were, like what he specifically was trying to kill.
I believe he was eating his patients,
Right?
which is kind of a big red flag for a doctor.
Is it?
Yeah, a little bit.
So
little
Hannibal's the sequel, which I've never seen.
You gotta watch it.
Good, but not actually. I don't think it's as good as the prequel Red Dragon.
I've seen Red Dragon with Edward Norton,
I think that's better
but
than
I've
Hannibal.
seen it a long time ago, and I don't remember any of it except for that one thing where that famous scene where he's making everybody like watch those videos.
Yes.
Which
Do
is
you
sick.
see?
Do you
see?
the South Park spoof?
Yes.
Do you see?
Yeah.
Do you see?
Red Dragon's a really good movie.
Yeah, that scene was really creepy.
Hannibal has one iconic scene where I think it's Ray Liotta. Hannibal Lecter cuts his head open while he's still alive and starts eating his brain while he's still alive. I'm pretty sure that's from Hannibal.
Sick.
Delish.
But yeah, that's something we're going to get to because I actually do really want to review both those movies now. Now that we've done this one, we should get to them soon.
We'll do Hannibal will be like the next one.
Yeah, and then we'll finish with Red Dragon.
I'm calling being a guest on those.
That's fine, but there's a recent fourth one, right? There's the
Hannibal Rising, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the books I just bought.
So there's no... What about Manhunter? I always talk about it. It's like a thriller, but it was made in like 86 or something, and Dr. Hannibal Lecter's in the movie.
Yeah, I don't know where that ties in.
It doesn't reference a book at all. Like, there's no book about it whatsoever. But Brian Cox stars as Dr. Hannibal Lecter.
We're going to have to look into this. We're going to do some research after.
Very noirish 80s movie. Like, the music's good. I really liked it because the killer's crazy in that movie.
Yeah, I've never seen it, so now I have to get to it and watch it. So I'm going to give my review of this fantastic movie. So, Brian, I'm going to do a very, very rare thing. I'm going to give this movie a 10.
Ooh.
Wow.
I had it as a 9 on IMDb. Upon further rewatch, I think this is probably top 1 or 2 best horror crime movies ever made.
It's definitely more true crime. Like, the only other one I would say is Seven.
Yeah,
Horror
which is
crime.
my favorite. But I think this is like right there with it. Like, it's perfect. Like, but everything about it, like the story, the characters, their motivations, like the mistakes they make or the things they do right. Like, it's just everything you could want in a movie. Like, I just think it's very good and it holds up. I mean, this movie came out 23 years ago now. Maybe, no, God, what am I saying? 33 years ago.
Yeah, it came out
33 years ago. So this movie's, it's amazing. I could talk great about it the entire time, but we basically have this whole review. So I'm just going to say I'm doing it the very rare 10 out of 10.
Yeah, so I'm giving this film a stark 9 out of 10. I really enjoy the horror crime, like you mentioned, which is kind of rare nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, even like in the 90s, Seven, like you said, Seven and Sounds of Lambs are the big ones. No, I really like the strong performances. Anthony Hopkins, obviously, in limited screen time. Jodie Foster. Supporting cast, okay. I mean, like, I don't think it's a perfect movie, but I think it's a very good, entertaining, and strong movie, and very creepy. I think Ted Levine is fucking wild.
Yeah.
And just to let you know, I did a little research. So Manhunter is connected to this movie.
Okay.
It's based on the book Red Dragon, obviously.
Yes.
Prequel to Sounds of the Lambs. Cast is totally different, and the plot itself of the movie has nothing to do with. So the plot itself, besides like Hannibal Lecter, has nothing to do with the movie.
Okay.
But similar, because FBI looks to profile Hannibal Lecter in a jail cell to help find a serial killer. So,
which is the plot of all of them.
Loose base.
Okay.
I'm going to give this movie a 10.
There we go.
I recommended it. I love it so much. And I just think it's just brilliant. It's like one of the top ones, like I put up there with like The Shining, as far as just like the suspense. I love the storyline. Now I can't wait to read the book.
Which you bought for $40 on Amazon.
$40 for 4 books, $10 a book. Yeah. So I'm going to give it 10 out of 10. I just love every bit of it. I love the Hannibal storyline. I love the Buffalo Bill storyline. I love the way they make me sit at the edge of my seat during the ending. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that last scene is really strong.
It really is.
It really is strong.
Okay. Let's talk a little Necronomicon to end this off. I'm just going to go right away and say Buffalo Bill is mine.
Yeah. James Gum?
Yep, James Gum.
That just sounds like a killer's name.
It does.
Yeah, I agree.
When I heard that name, I'm like, yep, that's the guy.
Yep.
Okay.
James Gum.
James Gum, Buffalo Bill.
JG.
You were a man of taste, right? Like, you picked out the finest women's skin to wear as your own. He had stellar dance moves. He rocked a kimono. He was pretty much the dream guy for most people, right? He was living the dream.
Better tuck. James Gum or Tom Brady?
Ooh. I'm going to say Tom Brady's tuck was better because it revolutionized football.
That's true.
Whereas this guy's tuck didn't really revolutionize anything. I actually think it set the transvestite movement back several years because of him. So, yeah, but it was still iconic. So for that, we're going to put him in our Necronomicon.
That's fair.
And that's it. Kaitlyn, thank you for being on. Thank you for allowing the dogs to be on.
Yep. It was my pleasure as it was yours and Brian's.
No, that was great. I love it. It's great. Fun. Good times.
It was. You know what else? But you know what is fun, Brian? The holiday season.
It is. It's always a pleasure. The holidays, the lights, the expenses.
Yes, all of it.
Christmas.
Why'd you look at me when you said expenses?
Sorry. Expensive taste. Taste again. See what I did there?
Yeah. Liver. Fava beans. All of it. You know what else is expensive? Rare exports. Santa Claus, $85,000. We'll get into the math.
Finland. You're right. The Northern Lights.
All of it.
Yeah, it's the land of the Northern Lights. So,
with that said, we are the final podcast signing off, and we will see you next week where we discuss, is it worth it to spend $85,000 on a mall Santa?
I think so.
I say yes. Originally an elf, then a Santa.
Yeah.
What a flick. All right. www.thefinalpodcast for all of our content. New episodes every Monday. We are so excited to be dipping into the Christmas season, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Benny says bye.
He definitely does. You could go help him now.
All right, let's put these dogs in a shelter.
Oh my.